Top of the hour, guys. We're going to kick it off with my brothers here. Wade T. Lightheart, Prosperity Health Alliance with Creel Hutchison, Seehaw Top. And we're going Hawaii 5-0 to my man Seehaw here. Brother, what's up on the sunny side of the world?
Hey, hello everybody. How's everybody doing? 2016. January's over with. I know we only got a couple more days, but you know what? It came by and it's gone, and this year is going to go like that. And if we plan it right, 6A and above at the Global Convention, I can't wait to see everybody on stage because that's what we're all working towards right now. I believe that's one of our most major goals for a lot of us that we want to get on stage. I know that the teams are all over the world. I heard you say Roger and Sabine Gadet, they're down there in California at the LA Fit. That they're doing great things. But hey, you know what? Tonight's show that I would like to talk about, and I get asked this question quite a bit, is how do you go build a business somewhere else? How do you go build a business outside of your city and where you live? And for me, I found that it's been really easy, and I've been able to share with our teams and everybody, how to do it. And basically, I call it, planning for the event. We know that in this business, we have, how to invite, and that's very important, and all the other parameters that we have to learn. One of the most important ones as well is events, getting people to the events. And from day one, my mentor way back when helped me put together the first Super Saturday event. I was scared. I didn't know how to do it. But how we got through it was because we had teamwork. We had people delegated to do, to pitch in and to do what they did best. So I'm going to just share with you a few of my notes on building a business somewhere else and getting your teams to work alongside with you. Planning for the event. First of all, you gather around the leaders that you have in the area that you want to build. I'm going to use Hawaii since I just done it here in Hawaii and it's fresh on my mind. Before I came here, we picked a date, obviously, when I would be coming here, and my teammates had picked the groups of people that they wanted me to speak in front of, and they picked the venues, they picked the times, they picked the date. Basically, they are my managers. When I showed up, they picked me up at the airport and they just drove me around and got me to where I needed to go to speak. I think I have the easiest job. All I got to do is show up and speak, at the right time, the right place. That's what Wade and I did. And everybody asked me, tell me that story again, how you and Wade went down the I-5 corridor, on the West Coast. And I said, well, when I first started, I didn't know the business. I didn't know how to share the health, and I was going to utilize my partner, Wade, utilize his expertise and use his credibility. And so basically that's what the teams are doing for me. They are just lining me up and using my credibility and my experience and all that. So planning for the event, gather your leaders around you, who's going to help you with the events, and then write down your goals for the event. Each event is different. One event I spoke for coaches and athletes and trainers. Another event I spoke for church group. Another event I spoke for retirees. So build your events to cater what group of people is in front of you, and then for our teams, we were able to when we did these presentations or we did these events, we were able to come together as a group because we had a list. We put a list of all of our teammates that are involved and who's responsible for the check-in, who's responsible for the projector, and who's responsible for the computer, who's responsible for the display. It's just a check-off list. We're doing a show, and so you're doing a production. And so one of the teammates delegated or became the leader in a sense and delegated who's going to do what based upon their strengths. And you know what? It was like clockwork at every one of these shows. When I went there, to the point where when I was done with the show and I was helping cleaning up, they said, "Seehaw, that's not your job. We got peeps. We got people to do this." So again, we had a list that everybody knew what they were doing. Same thing when we did our Super Saturdays, right? Wade and Creel, we had a list of everybody knew what they were doing, from the ushers to the lights to whatever. So have that list of duties for who's going to do what. Then make flyers and start promoting for it. The promoting is like we shared about the inviting. You invite people to demos. You invite people to your websites and to take a look at the water. Well, here is inviting them to the event. So get really good at inviting people to the event, and that basically that's it. That's really in a nutshell. Gather your leaders, write down your goals, have your duties list for everybody involved. You know what's funny on the duty list? We even had smile. We even had come in with energy. We had just to remind everybody that we need to be welcoming. We need to have the guests feel welcome and that they want to be there. So that was on the duty list. And then last but not least, make the flyers. I don't know if you guys, there's many different ways to make flyers, but one of these shows I would love to show you. I was taught how to make flyers in like 3 minutes on an phone app called PixArt, P-I-C-S Art, A-R-T, and you just pick the background, you put in your fonts, you put in your colors, and you save it, and you're done. Literally, I was able to teach our teams within just minutes, 3 minutes before we had, after dinner, before we had to get in the car, and now flyers fly all over our teams because people can make them and send them, and they send them to myself, and they send them to the rest of the team, and we can forward it forward. That right there is really key to building and promoting for your event. So I'm going to leave it right at there because it's not difficult, it's not hard, and we're here to help you. So if you guys have any questions at the end on this, definitely I'll be here to answer those. So back to you, Wade and Creel.
Hey, thanks so much, Siha. That's really great. And for those of you who want to put on an event, please plan in advance. If you want Siha or Creel or myself or whatever the team is relative to go, let us know in advance, plan for it, and get participation. This is where you got to realize we're a team, we're an organization, we work together, and you try and find people who have the skills in the various areas, whether it's being at the door and registering people and welcome, whether it's folding out chairs, whether it's driving someone, picking them up from the airport if someone's coming in and flying in or whatever, whatever it is, when you participate in an event, it means something more to you, and it transits over, and also it gives you an opportunity when you bring that new person in there, they see that you're part of something, and I think in today's world we're more connected than ever and more disconnected than ever, and when you've got a place where you can bring somebody in and someone gives them a big hug and says welcome, and I don't know of any job out there where drinking on the job is a requisite. I mean, what a great business. I mean, drinking on the job, you get paid instead of fired. Only business like it. So with that, and we're going to turn it over to Krill. He's going to share a little bit with us about talking about events. He's going to talk about demo etiquette. So Krill, I know you got a good presentation on this. Can you share that with us, brother?
Perfect. Thanks, Wade. Hi, everybody. So this is a perfect kind of lead off from where Siha was. Just want to talk about our weekly demos, or many times in a week, or regional and events such as that. Let's talk about the power of the weekly demo. Inviting people to get to a live event takes work and effort. So let's make the live event the best possible exposure to educate and finalize sales for our business. We spend a lot of time inviting, getting in front of people and setting up an appointment. So when we actually get someone out, and the best way to get somebody out is to take them to the event, we want to show up and we want to make sure the event is running smooth, professional, you're really proud, there's no awkwardness. It is really displaying what we have to offer from the moment someone shows up at the door to the moment they leave, that it's been a professional show. So we're going to run through some of the do's and don'ts and the etiquette that has really seen over the last 5 years that really promote results. This is the best tool for building your business because it builds in such social proof. And so support the events. Get out to them in your local area, your weekly events, organize events, follow some of the strategies that Siha just gave. But when we get people out, let's run them through a really great show. So specifically, we're going to focus on our weekly demo. I know here in Vancouver, the PH Alliance does Tuesday nights at Alans. We've got teams all over the place that have their, their go-to meeting of the week. Arrive early, 6:40. Some places even advertise. I know Roger and Sabine like to arrive 6:30. You definitely want to get early to an event. You're either early or you're late. There's nothing in between. And I find so many people kind of just try to squeeze in under the door, and it really does a disservice to the event, the presenter, and to your guest, most importantly. When you arrive early, you have the opportunity for everyone to relax, get kind of socially comfortable. You also can introduce them directly to the presenter so that you build a little rapport, build a relationship, rather than just sliding in and, the event may have started 1 or 2 minutes. People feel awkward. It's a distraction. So be professional, show up early, dress for success. I think this kind of just says it all. The type of people you want to attract will be the type of people that you're exuding from yourself. So if you want to attract professional-minded, successful people, dress the part yourself. Be present and engaged. Put away the cell phone. Even though you've seen the presentation dozens of times, maybe hundreds of times, for the brand new person, imagine what it is for them. So if you're in the back of the room talking, whispering to other distributors or texting, that's a distraction and it really devalues the information that's being presented. Stay focused. It's going to be an hour and then the show is wrapped up. So no distractions. You represent Enagic. So what and all we have to offer. So what is the statement that you're leaving with your guests, but with potentially other guests from the room? They're checking out basically everything. They're really getting a sense of who these people are. Do I relate to them? Do I want to be part of this as a customer, even more so as a distributor? So we want to give them the best showing possible. I think this only makes sense. Distributors, be prepared. Paperwork ready and sign-in sheet so that when you get there, that's really smoothly done. It should be no questions asked. You sign in, who invited you. If you don't have a sign-in sheet, you're really missing out on being able to clarify, where people are coming from, who invited them, and also tracking the numbers of what events are working. Donation to the host if required. If the space takes, X amount of dollars to run, be sure as a distributor that you're making financial contributions. 6A support agreement. This can be spoken a little bit more in depth, but essentially, if you're going to an event that another 6A is hosting, and that they're not financially being rewarded for their efforts, but you're able to come, participate, and because of that, your guest decides to purchase. I would recommend signing the 6A support agreement so that the 6A hosting and really delivering the customer service gets rewarded through that. It's a lot of times people forget about this, and I think it's a really valuable way to, say thank you for the help, and then it will encourage people to keep the doors open of events and let cross-team members join us. Distributors, it's very important to have 2 well-practiced 30 to 45-second product and business testimonial. If I, as a presenter, know that there's some really great testimonials out there, I want to call on you, and the key is to make it short. As you'll see, we want to have much shorter demos than we've had in the past, which has been an hour and a half plus. We want to really shrink it down to 1 hour. So you can help that process. Your 2-minute, 3-minute story can actually be a 30 to 45-second powerful testimonial. Practice it. Bring your own jugs for water fill-up or the water trial if needed, and fill up your water in other places. A lot of the times it's just not appropriate to carry large jugs out of a condo. You want to be able to fill that up with yourself in the car so that you're really bringing a pro attitude to the whole event. Presenters, be prepared. Dress for success. I realized, and I was, 5 years ago, the way I was showing up to events was not what I would be proud of. And I really kind of learned through my associations with great business-minded people, also Straight Line Persuasion with Jordan Belfort. You got to dress for success. We are representing and selling a $4,000 and $5,000 system. So I suggest being really sharply dressed is probably the best etiquette we could have. Super positive and professional all the time, right? Whenever you walk through the door, you are on your 10 plus energy and you want to shine so that everybody wants to be a part of that. Often people, it's not so much what you say, it's how you say it, so show up with energy. Make sure you've got your computer and your PowerPoint, all that stuff sorted out in advance. Don't try to wing it on the fly. Demo supplies, ORP meter working. supportive documentation, and make sure Kangen water is able to be served. So as a presenter, we want to make sure that either our team essentially has this all working, or if we're doing it, we need to come early and get ourselves set up properly. All right? Here's the demo outline. Arrive early, 6:40 p.m. is a good time, 6:45. You got 15 to 20 minutes before we start. Ideally, the demo is 1 hour to an hour and 15 minutes max. The reason being, people just do not have the attention span we once had. This is so clearly documented, and we can get the information that we have across to people in a much shorter time. If we cut away all the distractions and the side stories, the long testimonials, it just doesn't work. Right? We're not adding to the sale, we're actually taking away from the value when we have an hour and a half to an hour and 45-minute presentation. So to presenters out there, cut your slides out, shrink it down, practice something that's much easier, and it's duplicatable that way. Start sharp at 7:05. You know, this is key. You do not want to wait longer because we want to get the show rolling. So if people haven't shown up, they haven't shown up, they're late, everyone else is on time, start on time. I suggest the product to be about 40-45 minutes and the business 20 minutes, 25 minutes. That should be more than enough time to get all the information across so that people can have a really solid 30 to 40 minutes of Q&A and as a social mixer. We realize the information is great, but what really sells is relationships, building trust, asking questions, talking to other people that have given a powerful 30-second testimonials, you know, introducing people to other people in the room. We need to have the social side really show what we've got to go. So we've got to shut down the demo to an hour, hour and 15 minutes, and then have a half-hour Q&A and social. And then by 9 p.m. you should be done and wrapping up and leaving. Right? The presentation itself, a 1 to 2 minute introduction. This is the welcome, house rules, you know, where the bathrooms are, no cell. A short 30-second introduction to edify the speaker. This needs to be well practiced by somebody. It's not a fly-by-night. You know, you're getting up there, you're representing, you're starting the show, started with energy, 1 to 2 minutes maximum. Then the presenter will come on up, product demonstration. You want to talk about the company profile, the Kangen water properties, introducing all the waters, you know, testimonials with like third-party doctor slides, but we also want to introduce live distributor testimonials in the audience. And then you mentioned the trifecta, financing options, and the price, so people have a really clear understanding what's going on here. Right? Then you move into the second aspect of the presentation, and I would just roll it right through. There's no need to take a break. You know, we're looking for people that want to join our business. The Enagic opportunity, introduce them to the true health philosophy, linear versus leveraged income, why this just makes sense, why network marketing makes sense. Go through the 8 points. I recommend doing the K8, PowerPoint or on a whiteboard. I know a lot of presenters like to do that, get it very visual. Show the global opportunity, show the vision, get people inspired, get your pitch, get your, you know, asking for an action and really call people to take a step forward. And this has to be a strong close. And this will take time for new presenters to more seasoned presenters. But this is going to be a really powerful moment because you're going to sum up your whole presentation and you're going to ask for people to get involved with us either as a customer or as a distributor. So please watch how other people do it and what you like and practice that so that it can be a very powerful call to action. So a person sitting there really knows, yes, I want to do this, or no, I need more information, so that when they're, you know, when a distributor turns to their guest, they can say, hey, what did you like best? And you've left it with something really powerful, so that could be a great conversation. And then you open up to Q&A, right? Pretty simple, but I've seen just too many presentations go an hour and a half plus, and so let's shrink it down and hit the key points. Right? Here's a few variations that can happen on this. Show the Health Success Center videos. You could actually do an introduction, do the hosting, and do an edification of the Health Success Center, then start playing videos. You could also slide in Kangen water in 20 minutes video. That shows all the properties, and then you could end it with testimonials. So do not feel you're limited to having to create live experiences with live people. You can host an event as a new person, slip in the CD, press play on the internet, have the experts present it, do the testimonials, feed people the water, you're doing all that. So these are the variations. Another variation which would be, I'd like to see more of and I'd like to be doing is starting with testimonials. It's such a powerful way. A lot of really seasoned professional, the best of the best elite salespeople will start their events with testimonials. This can only happen when testimonials are well practiced and people arrive early. If they don't, you can't make this happen. So it's really a team event, starting the testimonials with 3, 4, 5 great testimonials and then running through the product presentation grabs people's attention. They get engaged right off the bat. So that's a great variation. Another way is, play the video and then call in a 3-way, maybe a Skype call or just a 3-way phone call to an upline leader so that they can handle the questions and answers at the end of it, right? Be creative in how you create your live events, right? There's lots of different ways to do it, but in general, we've seen that shorter is better. Talk about the product, talk about the business, shrink it down to an hour. What we're going to do, Wade, Tina, and myself talked about, is getting a very streamlined PowerPoint presentation that we can just roll through and encourage people to do it. So that imagine everywhere you go, you know that there's going to be a standard of presentation and you know what to expect. That creates really clear duplication, which is the key to our business moving forward. So those are the highlights, and I think we are the gold standard, as we all know. So from that, I'll pass it back to you, Wade.
Great job, Krill. Great job, Siha. It's so great to have you guys on the line with us each and every week, taking your time to train the team. And I just feel totally blessed to have you, and I think everyone else does that. So thank you so much. And thank you, Kim, for switching us back and forth. So we've got my screen up here now, Kim.
Yes, you do. Let me put, whoops,
Excellent.
Let me get you over here. Let me get it to you.
Are we good?
Show your screen.
Okay. I'm trying to. Hang on a second. Hang on. There we go. Oh, there we go. There we go. Show my screen. Are we good?
We're good.
Beautiful. Let me play this baby. Awesome. So we are on fire. Let me go back. There. I have a few things. There we go. As our good friend Krill said, duplication is the key to your success. So one of the things is you need to do this. And I want to be clear about something here. I made every mistake that you could make in this business. I did the 14.5-hour presentations. Well, maybe not quite that long, but it probably felt like that for some people. I did mistakes with virtually every part. I messed up duplication. I messed up strategy. I got complicated instead of simple. I was an expert on the water, not on the system. So I'm sharing with you so that you don't make all the mistakes I had. And here's the thing. You can make all the mistakes in the world and still do okay in this business. It's a very forgiving business. There's no wrong actions. The only wrong action is no action. So to understand the power of our business, and that is in duplication. But it's a double-edged sword. Duplication can go two ways. Duplication is great if you're doing the right things, and it's a disaster if you're doing the wrong things. And you get to a certain part of your business, what's being duplicated can either grow your business exponentially or stall it at a certain level, and you won't really know what's happening. So remember, the easy way to remember that is every action that you take, you need to ask yourself, is this duplicatable? If it is, do it. If it isn't, do something that is. That's really what I'd like to share with you. And over the course of this quarter, you're going to see that we've actually, through the PH Alliance, we've broken down everything into we're going to have a systemized training. So every little component of this business is going to be 100% duplicatable. Mark my words, by the end of this quarter, we will have the #1 training system in all of Enagic, thanks to my fellow co-hosts, so really much appreciated, guys and ladies. Simple is better than complicated. Be an expert on the system, not an expert in the system. This is critical. I encourage this. I talked about this on the weekend. I can't emphasize enough. Using the PH Alliance, using the Health Success Center, network, okay, and then getting people plugged in and coaching them to do the system. And the reason why that works is because this will allow you to replicate, it'll allow you to move fast, it'll allow you to get a lot of people on the water and experiencing the benefits of Kangen water, and ultimately that leads to sales and more people getting healthier and having prosperity in their lives. Getting plugged in, we're going to talk about that too. Every new distributor needs to get into the pH Alliance website on the very first day. You need to coach this, because what this does is it removes any obscurities out of the system. It puts consistency into your business without you having to do that. So if you haven't done that, get everybody else on. By the way, we know all the people that get on this, and we know all the people that don't get on this, because I get everybody's name. So I know if you're on this or not, and I can tell if you're opening your emails or not as well. So get plugged in if you want to be successful. You don't, that's fine. So step one, again, the pH Alliance, order your machine. Step two, get on the Health Success Center website, which is right at the second step, and that gets the person a web page. I can't tell you how many people have got stalled in this business because they felt they needed to have a web page or a presence, and they'd wait months. Well, wait until I get my website done. Don't. You don't have to do that. You can go right away. Step 1, 2, 3. And third is you go to have them sign up for the pH Alliance webinars every Monday night. That's also the coaching system that says get my training. Part 3 on the pH Alliance, Prosperity Health Alliance. That's it. 1, 2, 3, ABC. Set up your website. We kind of covered that. You get your Enagic ID. The Health Success Center is a $20 a month program. Get the $20 a month one. It has tracking in it, so you know who's been on your site, who's watched your videos, and who hasn't. And then you need to watch every video yourself and read the documents and use the site instead of being an expert. Someone gives you a question, don't be an expert, take them to the site. Someone asks, you know, what about this? Go to this. They need documentation, get it from the site. And then you can teach that, because what happens for the new distributors, they go, oh, I can do this. And that's the experience we want every single person, because you can do this and everybody can do this. You don't have to take as much time as it took me and Siha and Creel. The business has never been better. And by the way, Enagic Web Systems, that's for the company info, okay? So getting started formula, of course, again, I'm reviewing this again. Set your goals. Determine how much you can work and set aside the time to do it. It's so easy not to set aside the time. And if you don't set aside the time and you don't teach your team to set aside the time, guess what? You duplicate it. You duplicated people not setting aside the time. So it doesn't matter if you set 2 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours. You know, you can do this, you know, part-time, full-time, or big time, okay? Pick which one it wants to be. Start out maybe part-time for most people. Eventually that moves to full-time. And then at some point in this process, you go big time. I know Siha went big time right from the get-go, and he has the business to prove it. You decide what's right for you. There's no right or wrong. And there might be times where you do part-time, and sometimes full-time, and sometimes big time. All out massive action, do it big time, and you get so much momentum that you get full-time income on part-time business, which is really nice. Eliminate distractions and treat your business like a job first. Can't tell you how important this is. We're all conditioned to do jobs, and oftentimes we'll work harder for someone else than we will for ourselves. We'll find excuses to do things, or maybe we do things good in our job but not in our business. So treat it like a job. So if you set aside 4 hours, you sit down in front of your desk and you do 4 hours. You either get on the HSC site, you get on the pH Alliance site, you go through a webinar, you read a book, you do something in your business. But at the end of the day, reaching out and connecting people, that's the number one thing, right? Connect with people. Connect with the team, connect with the webinars, and connect with the events. And teach your team to do the same thing. You teach everybody to do the same thing. And the speed of the leader is the speed of the team, okay? Use these sites. Teach people to use these sites. It's getting simpler and easier and faster. When it comes to skills, some people say, you know, Wade, I can't do this, I can't do that. Guess what? It all comes down to personal development. As far as becoming a professional in this business, you need to encourage everybody to go to networkmarketingpro.com, Eric Worre's GoPro site. Everybody needs to read that book multiple times. Just read it over and over and over and over until it drills in. Watch his videos. He has really been such a great thing for our company and our business. And guess what? He's already broken down the 7 skills that we need to do. We don't have to learn anything else. We just need to do that. But personal development is how we show up to those skills, right? We all got challenges, we all got stories, we all got histories, we all got brain patterns, all that stuff. We can wipe that out with personal development. Tony Robbins, Brendan Burchard, Jordan Belfort. Tony Robbins for personal mastery, Brendan Burchard for high performance. What are the habits of really becoming a high performer in your business? And Jordan Belfort, I believe, is probably the ultimate sales trainer. Whatever, find out what your challenge is and just go in that. Plug into events. I think one of the big things, and teach your team to do this. Again, all this is duplicatable stuff. This allows the experts to do the work for you, but you got to show up. Plugging into events, where people go wrong in this, or when things go sideways, or when things get tough, or when things go not quite the way they anticipate or plan, or some challenges come up, and they will. We're not, you know. What I find is you need to come out to events. You need to get up your believability factor. You need to get up and get connected, because if you isolate, that's, you know, you start to isolate and rationalize. There's no duplication in isolation, right? You got to get out, get to the events, get online. There's all kinds of stuff. Do it. So what does that mean? You need to be on these webinars every Monday night. You need to set the tone. You need to be going and going, yeah, you know, I got to do this. Oh, man, there, you know, because sometimes you just hear that one thing. That one thing gets you going, right? And that gets your team going. It also allows you to have momentum in the times where you don't, where you can't. There might be things that come up in your life that you can't have momentum, sickness in the family, maybe an illness, maybe you've got a lot of events going on. But if you've taught your team to do this, guess what? Your business is working for you, right? And once you've experienced the power of that, you'll understand. Kangen One Info, of course, global meeting, first Monday of every month. I recommend bringing people over to your house, watch it all together. You can solve problems, make it a very, very big event. Most of the successful teams in Enagic do this. Enagic Global Convention, we've had a number of distributors. This is July 27th, 28th. Get out to that. The reason being is if you get in a room with 2,000, 3,000 people in Enagic from all over the world, you start to get a concept of the global business that we're involved in and what we're doing, and the testimonials and the life-changing. And it's just magic, and you really get to see the magic of Enagic. And I highly recommend, if you're really serious about this, get as many people as you can to Eric Warry's Go Pro Recruiting Mastery, December 1st to 4th. This is how you go and become a professional in this industry, period. Be there. It's important. You got lots of time to save for it. It's about $500 for the tickets right now. Just be there. Super Saturdays, events at Eli, Yahoo. This talks about all the events all over the organization. For example, I know Kimmy found and discovered an event and went on there immediately. I didn't even teach her how to do it. She found it herself, so good for her. So you can get that from either Events as Eli or the EWS website talks about events. That's the power of Enagic. And go to your local demonstrations and business meetings. Get connected. Next thing, when it talks about networking events, you got to get out and meet people. Somebody said, I don't know people. Get out and network. Get out into a social circle. It's so easy to get caught in this like whole digital little world, you know, living in Facebook where we think we're connected, but we're really not. Get out and press the flesh. You might have some fun. You might meet a new spouse or something. You never know what could happen. I mean, a lot of crazy things happen in this business. So go for it. Be surprised. Good things happen by getting out. So commit to going to a minimum of one social or business event per month in your area. Something, go out with a friend, invite someone. Maybe if I go to your event, will you come to my event type thing? That's a great one with people in the industry. That's always great. Find out. Commit to going to a personal development a month. And if you can't get out to one, you can always go to an online one. But if you get out to personal development places where people are doing personal development, guess what? You meet people that are growing. You meet people that you want in your business. And you go out to one personal development month per month, and you teach everybody in your team to do this. Guess what? Before you know it, you're going to have a team of people that are building a business or into personal development. They're going to do it with or without you. That's awesome. Next thing, commit to going to one Enagic group event per quarter. Find one, go somewhere, do something. Get out to where you see it, whether it's a local event, whether it's a bigger event. There's all kinds of them. Get out to it. The reason being that there's an energy of what's called social proof that comes into it. And commit to going to a GoPro event. We got that one in December that gives you lots of time to save up. Okay, it's in Las Vegas. That's always interesting. Christmas time, all that sort of stuff. So just get out there and do it. Commit to going to the Enagic Global Convention. It's in North America this year, probably for the last time in the next 4 or 5 years. Don't know if it's going to come back for a long time, so I would recommend going to it, especially if you're in North America. I'm going to talk about another thing here. This is really important, ethics. And for some people, it's not a comfortable topic, but it's something that will come up in your business as you grow. This is something that we all have to deal with. I've dealt with it. Everybody has to deal with it. And recognize that you need to be a professional when dealing with downline, upline, and crossline. We all represent Enagic. Okay, remember, we are Enagic. You are an Enagic independent distributor, but how you conduct yourself and your business reflects on you. Okay, so there's an ethics and operational system that comes with every machine. I highly recommend that you watch it. And you ask yourself the question all the time, is what I'm doing duplicatable? So are you talking about people? Are you saying things? Because, you know, you know what this is, right? You know what this is in your heart, but you have to just be clear about it in your organization and set the tone, right? So how do you set your self-monitor? Is my actions duplicatable? Would I want someone in my organization doing what I'm doing right now? That's the biggest check-in, right? Okay, and here's the thing, is this an action I would want someone else to do if they were my upline or downline or crossline, especially related to other distributorships? Oftentimes when you get in this business, you get in the business and might be a few friends that join together and you know the same people. This is going to happen. And one of the downsides of this industry or people in network marketing is at a certain level, sometimes people will make a decision to join your organization or to join somebody's organization because they either personally like someone better than you, or they feel that they have a bigger chance of success with that person than you. And that sucks. It happens. And when you do this, you gotta take the high road. It will happen to you. I'm going to tell you that right now. I want to be clear on this. This is going to happen to you. And the more successful you are in this business, the more you're going to have to deal with this. Now, there's an opportunity here. If you take the high road, guess what? It always pays off in the end. You might lose money in the short term. You might lose, somebody might be mad at you. Someone might be upset. Things might go wrong. But guess what? You're going to feel good about it in the long run. And if you make a mistake, and we all make mistakes. I've made mistakes and stuff. You know what? You just come clean with the person and come front with it and just deal with it and get it beyond you. And you'll be surprised when you own up to things. It's amazing what happens, right? So the question is, am I putting my team, my company first, or am I putting myself and my interests first? People love magnanimous people. Magnanimous. Remember that word, okay? So put the spreading true health with compassion first. That's what Mr. Oshiro's vision is. That's what we do. We spread true health with compassion. So are you being compassionate with that person that's doing something that's a little off? Are you being compassionate with that person in the other team? Are you being compassionate with yourself? Are you being compassionate with your teammates? And that doesn't mean that you don't, call a spade when it is and be upfront about it, but all that other niggling and stuff like that, you want to get rid of all that sort of stuff, right? And then how do I handle conflicts of interest when they come up? When you have a conflict of interest or something happens in your organization or with people, you know what? Just recognize it's a good sign, because if you're having that happening, that means you have an organization. That means your company, your business is growing, and it's a sign that the universe is ready to give you a sense of leadership, and you get an opportunity to take the high road. You feel great about it. It works out. So recognize it's inevitable and a sign that your business is growing. Use direct communication with people. Don't rely on secondhand information. Don't rely on what he said, she said. If there's a conflict within distributors in your party, get both sides of the story first. Don't make judgments beforehand, because there's usually one side of the story, then there's the other side of the story, and then there's the truth, which is somewhere in the middle, and oftentimes not available because everybody has their perception and projection. So another thing is ask questions, don't make accusations. So when you're dealing with something like that, just ask questions. Hey man, I was just kind of questioning what's going on about that. What's your situation on that? What's your perspective on that? Or how do we best handle this situation? It's delicate. Front, if you feel uncomfortable about something, say it. Say, I feel kind of uncomfortable about this situation with so-and-so. and do it in a place that's private. Don't do it at a public event or where there's a bunch of distributors around. Just deal with it, and you know what? It all works itself out. I've literally worked in virtually every one of the top leaders organizations in this business, and I'm pretty happy that for the most part it's all been amicable. There's always been some challenges in certain areas, but everything's been resolved over time, which is wonderful because of using this handling conflict format. Avoid gossip and criticism of other teams or distributors. We are all Enagic distributors. It's really easy to slip into that, especially if things aren't going well in our own business or something. Try and move beyond it, take the higher road, no matter what. And yep, sometimes you're going to lose out in the short term, but it always comes back. The universe has a way of rewarding the high ground, and I highly recommend it. And I think that's what Oshiro has taken. He set that example. He's got a company that's doing hundreds of millions of dollars every year for 40 years, and he always takes that route, right? He always welcomes people back into the fold no matter what they've done or whatever's happened, and that's one of the great heart paces of Mr. Oshiro, and he's got a hundreds of millions dollar a year company because of that. You know, people think that's kind of crazy, but it works. It works, and that's what our business. Remember, people are your business, the world is your office, and God is your boss. Act like it. That's a Daniel D. McCauley program. So putting it all in action, going back here, so I want to appreciate that. Remember, we talked about this in the thing, action trumps strategy. That's right out of Tony Robbins. You know what? You can have the best strategy in the world, you don't take action, forget it. You can have the worst strategy in the world in this business, and if you take action, you'll get results. Commit to sending 25 texts every single week. Set your meetings. Track your results. Get help. You do it by yourself. You don't do it alone. Use the tools, use the website, and use the team. Don't isolate. Plug into the system. Plug into the meetings. Keep moving forward no matter what. So there we go, folks. That's our that's our presentation on that. I'm going to go switch over here. I'm trying to get back to my video site. There we go. Kim, are we functioning? Are we ready to answer some questions for you guys out there? We're having so much fun. I'm going to switch it over. You got questions? Okay, where do we get testimonials? Do we have, okay, so this is a question from Melissa. Where do we get testimonials, and do you have some worth sharing? I love it. So let's get clear about a couple of things. First and foremost, there are lots of testimonials inside the Health Success Center website that people can go review. You cannot share a testimonial that is a second-hand information. If you do this, by the Federal Trade Commission says that that is leading and can get us into trouble. You cannot say that this treats, cures, is a treatment, a protocol, anything like that related to a health condition, okay? You can't do that. You can get yourself in trouble, and you don't have to. Send it to the site. Creel, you want to add to that?
You know what? I think that's great. I have at times taken personal testimonials just from people I know very well, and I'll record them on my iPhone. If you know, I've gotten lots of people over the last 5 years. They've got a great testimonial. I know them well, and I say, you know, would you mind if I filmed you like a 30-second testimonial? And if I showed it to some person, could I extend your phone number and email so they could actually contact you and verify the information? So sometimes I will present, hey, like someone has a similar situation, their similar background, here's a business testimonial or a product testimonial, and would you like to speak to them because I can give you your number. So I've got you know, three to six kind of product and business testimonials that I have backed up like that. And as you grow your business, Melissa, you know, you can gather some testimonials or get them in writing from other people that you can share, but people need to be able to connect to them so that it's not misleading, as what Wade kind of pointed out there.
Yeah, and so some of the things is sometimes is you can make a phone call to the person, get to know them, and say, you know what, let me put you on the phone with Wade or Creel or whoever it happens to be, and like let them tell you what their experience is. And if you're telling a testimony, say, well, you know, here's the thing. I don't know how about your situation or what's going on, but here's what it did for me. You know, I had such and such going on. I started drinking the water. It went away. I don't know why. Give it a try and find out. It's really that simple. You don't have to get into anything extravagant or crazy or any of that stuff, because I think we just lose credibility. This is not a be-all, cure-all, end-all. You know, we're not going against the medical system. We're not trying to create something that we don't need to do that. Just let people experience the water for themselves and see what happens. And you know what? The testimonials will come.
Wait, I'll add on to that too. You know, people will say to me, you know, what's the proof? And I just remind people that we're dealing with water. So water has already been proven to be very effective for all of us. In general, we all agree that the higher quality of water we put inside our body, we're going to have a higher quality living experience. So we're just suggesting to people that this is a higher quality. And I kind of walk people through, you know, it's tap water, it's bottled water. You know that's not good for you. You know, I can send you stuff in reverse osmosis. So you're kind of come down to filtered water. So I remind people what we're actually talking about, which is water. And it kind of like, we're not introducing people to a drug. It's water. So by its very nature, we all need it. And we're just suggesting, why don't you take a look at what we've got here? And we don't have to fabricate. We tell the truth. People get great results drinking this water. You know, why don't we start explaining what that is?
Perfect. We got a question here. Is Siha still on the line? Siha, brother, you with us?
I think we lost him.
We lost Siha. He went and was swimming with the mermaids. So where is he in Hawaii? From Melissa, I'm going to Kauai. Anyone know anyone out there where I can get water from? So
my suggestion, my suggestion that there's Siha is not going to be in Kauai. What I do if I'm looking for water or a distributor at a distance, I will find the, let's use Kauai for example, find the postal code, type in the postal code Kangen water, and find out which distributors have registered themselves either through the EWS or other Kangen water sites. They will pop up, so you can actually contact them and say, hey, I'm going to be in Kauai for, you know, can I come in and grab some water? Or I've got somebody that I'd like to do a water trial. What is your water trial service? This has been really effective for me. I probably have, you know, a dozen people in 5 years that I've contacted over the internet using this and asked them if they'd be available to do water trials. And then I end up, if a sale goes through, I end up sending them, you know, a confirmed upon support donation, maybe 6-day support if they're 6 days. So that's how you find water at a distance. Postal code in the area, Kangen water.
perfect. We have any other questions out here? Type the questions in. We're going to give it a couple more minutes, and then we're going to zip. So if you've got questions out there, or you have questions about anything, of course, we always put these up on the pH Alliance, you know, webinars. We're making them public to everybody, so you can refer back to here if there's any other questions. We do have the complete training coming this quarter. You're going to be excited about it. It's going to be delivered to your email box, so make sure that you check it and get on it. And if there's any questions, be sure to email either myself, Siha, or Creel, and we'll be happy to answer. So here's another one. How to get young people onto the business and open this mind to this opportunity. Creel, you want to answer that question?
Well, I think with the young people, you got to really educate people on the opportunity once again, but it's really, you know, what do they have going on right now? Where do they want to be? Showing the passion of entrepreneurial spirit that by 30 your life could be totally in a different place. Maybe introduce them to some other young people in the business that are doing really well. I know I've got a few people on my team, but I think the people that I've seen successful dealing with young people, they're talking about the business and they're talking about creating a bigger, brighter future for themselves that cannot be found right now in today's present economy. Going back to school or working dead-end jobs, the only way forward is through entrepreneurialism. I think you educate more on entrepreneurialism and less on the product. They're not going to care really about the product. If you want to get them turned on, because people are young, they're healthy, you got to explain the fire of entrepreneurialism and why this makes sense as a business to get involved with.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is one of the things too that being an expert on the business as opposed to the water is really clear. And also being able to communicate the power of the business opportunity. And one of the ways to do that is to get yourself educated on business. Read Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a great book to kind of explain and go through that, where you can use examples so that people understand. You want to be walking the talk. I would also suggest that you get a business mentor. Get somebody, a business coach, that can help you become a better business person that is in alignment with your personality and with who you are. So for example, there's all kinds of things that I want to achieve in business. Now I have a couple levels. I have those people I want to become way up here, and then there's those people that I look up to, and then there's those people that coach me to get to these levels. And they're different people. So you want to get around people that are going to help coach you up to that level, so that, number one, when people meet you, they see you as a business person. You want to dress the part, you want to look the part, you want to talk the part, you want to be the part. There are so many young people today that are making insane amounts of money, that are doing things that was never possible. Most of my entrepreneurial friends, those you don't know, I've been on the online internet business, almost all of them are younger than me. Like, I was just at an event in November, and I'm speaking at the event, and I'm like, wait a second, how did I get in this room? How did I become the old guy on the stage? I remember when I was the young guy on the stage, now I'm the old guy on the stage. So you got to get out there, you got to be the business guy. And if you do that, you're going to attract that. And recognize it's a different twist than being the health guy. And there's nothing wrong with being the health guy, but this business will be driven by people who want to make sales, who want to build a business and see the power of leverage. So I would read that. I would also read sales books. I would go through The Straight Line Persuasion by Jordan Belfort. I mean, this guy was killing it on Wall Street at 26 years old. Okay, you know, I mean, he was making $1 million a month. So recognize that you can do that too, and find other Enagic distributors that are your age and connect with them, see what they're doing, see what's happening, and get into the lingo of your age culture. That's a very big deal, okay? So, you know, just, and work it, and recognize, here's the beauty of it. When you're young, and you've got all the advantages because you can make lots of mistakes, and you will make lots of mistakes, and it's okay. There's really no mistakes. There's only learning experiences.
You know, I'll add on there, Wade.
Yeah.
Gowan, what I would also recommend is getting people to watch Rise of the Entrepreneur, so that there's some education on, you know, the choices that are available for young entrepreneurs. And, you know, young people love watching documentaries and movies, so it's just like, get them to watch that. Plus also Brilliant Compensation by Tim Sales, which is a 30-minute video. You can usually find it on YouTube. Helps explain what this is, helps explain why this is important. I watched that 10 years ago, and it made sense to me. So if you get people watching that, it kind of leverages the business opportunity for you. And if it makes sense, people will say, hey, this makes sense. You're like, great. Well, check out this business and this water system.
There's something here I'll also put on, now that I think about it, is check out, I just put it in the, I think I'm going to send off, Ty Lopez, his 67 steps. He's got a great business training course just about the 67 steps for running your life. There's a lot of things that aren't so, you know, that are okay about Ty, and some things that are great. I think that course is really great on setting clarity in your life about the power of business and why you want to do this when you're young. Because when you start watching and listening to all these people, it starts to become part of your vernacular, part of your belief system, and then you transit that energy very quickly. Is this webinar available for viewing later this week? Yes, it is, Landon. We put all the webinars up on Prosperity and Health Alliance. You go to our YouTube, click link. It's in the middle of the page on the Prosperity and Health Alliance. You can click on that and access that. This will be up later this week. We'll also send a link in the autoresponder that's going out today. So, Gowan, great, you got it. Thanks. Great to have you on board, brother. You've got a very, very bright future. Just keep working it. I'm always super excited about the younger people in the group, and the reason being is because I go, wow, you know, had I got this down back then. And sometimes it can be a little more challenging. You might feel that older people might not take you seriously. The reality is most older people will start looking at like, you know what, that kid's got it going on. And it's not what you think. But most times they're more impressed than maybe your younger friends. So don't be scared. Just keep leading and keep learning, and one day you will be so happy that you did that. So that's great. So keep rolling. If we have any more questions, pop them in really quick. Nobody? All right, so we're going to wrap it up tonight. I'm going to say good night from Siha in Hawaii, reaching out to all our teams out there in and around the world. ABC 123, that's what we do. Krill, you want to wrap things up with this?
Yeah, thanks, Wade. Have a great week, everybody. If you're in Vancouver tomorrow, I believe Antonita is going to be at LANS, so look forward to seeing you there or seeing you at an event soon. Ciao.
Yeah, we love you. Stay committed. It works if you work it. So Prosperity and Health Alliance, can't wait to see you. By the way, next week is the Kangen 1 info, first Monday of the night. Get a group together, sit at the house, get some chips and dip and some Kangen water, whatever, get some things, ask some questions, get out there, have a lot of fun. Danny is a blast. All out massive action. We got this quarter to, first month is almost in. Let's get those happening. We got some teams moving. We've got a lot of people that are making rank advance, which is exciting. So go for it. We'll see you in 2 weeks, but we'll see you at Kangen 1 Info next Monday night, same time, same station. Lots of love to you. Aloha.
Good night, everybody.